Hey guys, it's Sam and I'm here to announce the challenges as well as my own personal TBR for the Tome Topple Readathon. If you guys missed it, Tome Topple, the next round was announced last month and there was a whole video, so I will link that down below, but to kind of sum it up, Tome Topple round 2 is happening from November 18th to December 1st. It starts at midnight on November 18th, no matter what time zone you are in. It ends at 11:59 p.m. wherever your time zone is on December 1st. So this is a 2-week long readathon and it's focused around big books, which means books over 500 pages. And because it's focused around big books, that's why it's a little longer than usual readathons, because we want you guys to have the time to sit down and read those big books. So the whole point of this readathon is to just pick up some big books, read big books, and because we have a community around us of all of us also doing the same thing, it's super motivating. The first round went really well. I was very happy and pleased with everything and very excited to be back for round 2. There is also a series of other co-hosts that I will link down below, and I talked about my first video who are helping me with this, and it's going to be a lot of fun and even hopefully a step up from even first round. So there are 5 challenges. You can use this to pick your TBR. You don't have to do any of the challenges. This readathon is super chill. I don't want anyone feeling pressured. You don't have to finish your books like a lot of people didn't. A lot of people are continuing their books that they did the first Tome Topple because they didn't finish those books back then. Like, very chill. So you don't have to do these challenges at all. You don't win anything for doing these challenges, but if you want something to kind of help you pick your TBR because you can't decide, these challenges might help you. One is to read more than one tome. So read more than one big book during the readathon. Number 2 is to read a graphic novel. Now the first round we said any kind of graphic novel, you're kind of taking a graphic novel break, but for this round I decided to add in graphic novels of 500 pages. So again, you're still reading things that are 500 pages or more. There are a few graphic novels that are like that, and for this I will allow like bind-ups or like the giant compendiums, I forget what they're called. There's a name for like the huge things of comics that are all like pieced together, and typically speaking bind-ups do not count. So if you have a bind-up of a bunch of novellas, that doesn't count because you'd be counting each novella, unless each novella, which it wouldn't be because that's not a novella, but if each work in a bind-up is over 500 pages, like possibly the Theft of Swords books are like that, I'm not sure. If the books are over 500 pages each in that bind-up, that counts. But you can't have a bind-up of like 5, short stories or novellas or something and have that count as your book. You get what I'm saying? But with comics, you can do that. So if there's like the compendium or whatever of the comics for the graphic novel thing, then that does count. And there are a number of graphic novels that are over 500 pages. I believe Blankets is one of them, and there's others that I just can't think of. But if you have a graphic novel that is very large that you want to pick up and read, maybe Watchmen is over 500 pages, then this is the time for that to happen. Number 3 is to read a tome that is part of a series. So this is definitely hitting on a lot of those big, giant fantasy, epic fantasy series. There are plenty of them. I think both of the books that I'm planning on reading are from series. Oh, actually, that's a lie. Just one is. But yes, series are a common thing, so a lot of people can hit this challenge with their TBR for sure. Number 4 is to buddy read a tome, and this is going to be super helpful because this time around we did start a Goodreads group, so I will link that down below. We have book suggestions on there if you are having trouble deciding on what kind of book to read. It is sorted by genre, and then we also are going to have discussion boards for certain books that we find are very popular. So once these videos start going up and we see a lot of TBRs happening, there are certain books people gravitate towards. Like I know that A Song of Ice and Fire books are going to get read. I know Outlander. I know a lot of Brandon Sanderson's going to happen. I know some Scott Lynch is going to happen. So a lot of these books that are very popular, we are going to be having discussion boards on Goodreads for you guys to go in and talk to one another. So that counts as a buddy read. So if you guys want to join in with some people on Goodreads and do that, we're also going to have hashtags that coincide. Obviously, anything with Twitter, Instagram, whatever that you want to hashtag Tome Topple, that is the universal hashtag for the readathon. But if you also want to do Tome Topple, whatever the book is, which we'll tell you in each discussion board for the ones we're doing. So for example, if you do Outlander, it would be TT Outlander. And so you can kind of talk on Twitter with people if you don't want to do Goodreads, that kind of thing. So that counts as a buddy read, but you can also buddy read with a friend as well. Number 5 is to read an adult novel. So these are books that are for the adult audience. Again, not erotica or anything, just adult fantasy, literary fiction, stuff like that. A lot of these books, as far as suggestions that we are posting, do tend to be adult books. They just tend to be longer, although some YA books are getting very long. Looking at you, Sarah J. Maas, like with these giant books that are coming out. But we do have a list of, like I said, on the Goodreads group of books that are suggestions for adult books and YA books. But I definitely encourage you guys to try to pick up an adult book for Tome Topple. So with all that being said, let me show you my TBR for Tome Topple. The first book that I plan on picking up is The Mirror Empire by Cameron Hurley. And this book is actually fitting in a few categories. It is a tome that is part of a series, it is an adult novel, and I am buddy reading this from Adriana of Perpetual Pages, who is one of my other co-hosts. We've been meaning to read this book together for over a year now, and we just keep like having our schedules not work out. I was sick for a while, obviously last year after I got this book, and then she was really busy with school. Like, we've had craziness, but we both decided like this Tome Topple, it is happening. So I'm very excited about this one. This is an epic fantasy and it's about like a matriarchal society. Hell yes. And I've heard Cameron Hurley speak and she's like amazing. And I'm very, very excited about this. Like, I'm ready. This is going to be amazing. I'm fully prepared. And the fact that I'm buddy reading this with Adriana is like perfect. And I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And the second book that I'm reading is Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. So again, this fits a number of categories. This means that I'm reading 2 tomes, so I have challenge number 1 down, and again, this is also an adult fantasy book. I do hear that he's going to make a second book, but right now this is just a standalone, so in the future this could be part of a series, but it's not now. I've heard amazing things about this one. I've actually had this book the longest. Like, I think I had this before I even had all the Mistborn books, but now that I finished Mistborn, like, I need to read more, obviously, Cosmere stuff, and I wanted to read this one next, and I'm very excited. I've heard amazing things about the world building and the magic system, and I've heard there's like Hades Persephone elements. People have started to tell me this, and I'm like, what? So I'm very excited about the romance possibly having some Hades Persephone inspiration in there. Like, it doesn't need to be a direct retelling, obviously, but having it be like slightly inspired, some themes in there. Like, I was already pumped, and now I'm like, also, the first round of Tome Topple, I read Brandon Sanderson, and I kind of feel like I have to continue the theme of that. So these are my 2 books for Tome Topple that I'm hoping to get read. I'm very excited about both of them. I'm very excited to finish them both before the end of the year. I'm always excited to add more Brandon Sanderson into my like read pile and get more into Cosmere stuff. And then I'm very excited to be introduced finally to Cameron Hurley. And like, these books are supposed to feature some like badass ladies, and that's my jam. So I'm very excited about both of these. So comment down below and let me know if you will be participating in Tome Topple and what you plan on reading. Also, feel free and please do link me your TBRs, either posts or videos or whatever, on Twitter or here or on Tumblr or wherever, because I definitely want to check those out and figure out like how many people are reading which books and see which ones we can do for discussions. Obviously, follow me and any of the hosts for Tome Topple information, but also there is a Tome Topple Twitter. All of that information will be linked down below, and always use hashtag Tome Topple to talk about anything Tome Topple related. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!